over is we just received word from Rabbi Sam Entrader from the Carlebach Shul that he unfortunately will not be able to be with us in December. Rabbi Mandel, you will be taking his place. Thank you so much. Great for you to come. Yisroel, thank you so much for bringing your father. That's a pretty shoddy coat, by the way. What's going on here? You used to be conservative.
Turning conservative. I have to tell you that the first Baruch Hashem, the first Kiruv Shul in Borough Park, maybe the second, maybe Rabbi Elias was before us. Yibad L'chaim, we should be separated in good life. I opened up with Rabbi Loeb, and this goes back to about 84, Baruch Hashem. We had 35, 40 people every Shabbos, men and women, and we had Gewalt davenings and learnings and dancings on top 46th Street there, on top of the, next to Stolner Stiebel. So the fact of life is that, you know, like I told you, I'm a chassid and I come from many generations of chassidim, of Blizhnich chassidim, Kapishins and Shatten. And my chavrusa, the other rabbi, my partner, was a yekker. Right? So the joke in the shul was, so the joke in the shul was, what happens when you have two rabbis in the shul, a chassid and a yekker? You start exactly an hour late.
Thank you so much. It's so great to have rabbis and teachers who have a sense of humor.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
You know, both Rabbi Funds and Rabbi Mandel have been not just good friends to me for many, many years, but they've been some of my primary teachers, along with Reb Shlomo. It's great for all of us to be in Brooklyn these days, working together in harmony, singing, and bringing Torah to the world.
Yes, I know.
So now, if all the holy beggars will come on up, I want to just tell you a little bit about who else is here tonight that we haven't heard from. We're going to hear from one of Shlomo's early people. He's now one of the great rabbis in Queens, and he'll be up later. Rabbi Yisroel Finman is with us. Rabbi Shimon Kugel is with us. He'll be on later. The fantastic Laible Ben Moshe is still here. And right now, as we're getting ready, you know, sometimes it's sad. Everybody can't always have everything. From the West Coast, there was a great musician and chazan, friend of Shlomo's. He's been with us before. They lost him to the East Coast, but we are so grateful that we got him. He's been a professional musician for many, many years. He's got a neshama as big as this room, and he's standing right in front of me. Please welcome our friend, Michael Elias.
Shavua Tov. I was so blessed to have gotten to know the Rebbe and to work with him personally, and Gewalt, I got exposed to real Yiddishkeit and real Torah and real Jewish music through Reb Shlomo Zatzal, and I want to just play this next song. I was so touched by this song when I first heard it that I begged my wife to allow me to play it for her when she walked down the aisle, and it was Gewaltic. And the words are Leolam Eshkach. I'll never forget your precepts, and I really can't say that I could ever put into words the deepness and the love of Torah that I got from my Holy Rebbe, from our Holy Rebbe, Reb Shlomo. And I'll never forget the way that he gave it over to all of us. Technical difficulties.
While Michael is getting ready, I just want to remind you, we'll all be here next Shabbos for davening and dinner. but I do want to tell you that somehow our phones got turned off this evening. So you won't be able to call in, but our flyers are out on the table, and you can send a check for the meal, which is $20, and then we'll be davening at 10 a.m. Shabbos right in this very place. Again, Mulava Malka with Shimon Jacobson, the great Chabad rabbi, and our dear friend who you'll hear later and you'll want to hear some more of, Shimon Kugel.
That's why I did that. It's okay, don't worry.
Oile olam lo eshkach bigudecha. Oile olam lo eshkach bigudecha. guys, I'm gonna start this up by myself. So now I wanted to do just a couple more little tunes here for you if I have time. The Rabbi blesses me with a little bit more time. When I was in Russia with Reb Shlomo in 1989, it was just when Glasnost and Perestroika were really just starting to tear down communism in the former Soviet Union. And when we were there, Mamish, I bless you all that you should see the lights and see the beauty that Reb Shlomo sparked, that those lights should come to fruition. And all the Russians and all the non-Jewish Russians as well, and Russian Jews, how they danced and sang to our music, to Reb Shlomo's Torahs and stories. And I really can't think of a better song to sing now than this one here, because it really tells and talks about the beauty of the voice of God, and the voice of the Jewish people, and the voice of the Holy Torah, and most of all, the voice of our Rebbe. much, everybody. Shavua Tov.
Have a big hand from Michael Elias.
The Holy Rebbe should have an Aliyah. We should all follow him to Shemayim and to Yerushalayim. Ira Kodesh.
Become so sensational. I can't wait to get him back for an all-night Balava Malka. So, thank you. So if everybody would grab their seats, we're going to collect ourselves. We have one of the great rabbis coming up, and then Shimon Kugel. I don't want you to forget, Laible Ben Moshe will be here. He will be rocking the house down until Nate's. We're going to have a little break in between so that all the guys can go home and get their tefillin, and we will be playing and rock and rolling until it's time to daven Shachris. You've all heard of Shachris, haven't you? Okay, so if everybody would kindly be seated. I also want to just take a minute and introduce the members of the band. On this side, we have the great Menachem Feldman on violin. Please give him a big hand. Shlomo's good friend, my good friend, the Jew with horns, David Steinberg. A keyboard workman from Huntington, Long Island, playing on percussion. On clarinet and flute, Dan Becker. Our key engineer and superb bass player, Halman Schreiber. On lead guitar, Michael Poulard. David Neinberg on percussion and drums. And back from a sabbatical, please welcome Ben Levine. Okay, friends. In front of me, someone who we never forget, but playing great tambourine and percussion. Please welcome Sylvia back. Okay, so if everybody will get settled, I know it's a good time to schmooze, but we want to remember Reb Shlomo, and one way of doing it is by bringing up one of his musmachim, someone who is at the House of Love and Prayer, now has his own Queens congregation, a member of the board of the Orchitov Center. But before I bring him up, I need all of you to please be seated and quiet down. I know it's a great time for us to be together and remember. But before we can bring a rabbi up, we need to recollect ourselves, please. And in remembrance of Reb Shlomo, give the proper kavod to the rabbi. So those people who are in the front here, if you could please be seated. And folks who are standing in the aisles, please be seated. Please give a warm Carlebach welcome to a good friend of ours, an old friend of Reb Shlomo's, member of the Board of Orki Tov, Rabbi Yisroel Finman.
Shabbos. First, I want to bless you, Uncle. I want to give you advice as a congregational rabbi. There's three things that are essential to having a good congregation. One, you've got is a good deal of simcha. It's missing in 99% of the shuls in the world, which is why they're mostly empty. But the other two very important things, as you know, if you feed people, they come to shul, which you've already understand, because they see food by all the events. And the other thing is, you got to give people a good, comfortable chair. I want to bless you. As much as I had back trouble before I came in, I'm going to have more when I go out. I bless you with comfortable chairs in your shul. Basically, I met Shlomo when I was 14. I thank God he came around into the world. He came to my high school in Newark, New Jersey, a black high school, and played. It was strange, but I wish I would have made a stronger connection, but it planted a seed. I always say Shlomo went around planting seeds like Johnny Appleseed, and they sprouted when it was time. So I went to college in San Francisco in '69. Somebody said, you got to check out these crazy Jews at a place called the House of Love and Prayer, and the rest, as you say, is history. Became very intensely involved with the House of Love and Prayer in '69. It was after Elias Sukkot and Elias Garner had already gone to Israel to start the House of Love and Prayer there. So, being that I had a Hebrew school education, and most people didn't, I became a director. So, it's amazing what a little bit of education will do for you. The House of Love and Prayer was very special. Very special place, totally unique, totally unlike anything that's around today. There's a lot of good outreach programs, but the programs, there's a lot of nice shuls, the shuls. The House of Love and Prayer was really, like Shlomo used to say, a house of Abraham. And Sammy said it last week, that it's very fitting that Shlomo took off during this time when we read about Avram Avinu. Shlomo was an Avram Avinu Jew, filled with compassion, filled with love. But I want to say that on the outside, Shlomo was an Avram Avinu Jew. On the inside, he was like the Kedes Yitzchak. Shlomo was the only person I've ever met in my life who not was theoretically prepared to make changes in his lifestyle and discomfort his family for the sake of his profession as a Jew. Quite the contrary. Shlomo gave up his life every day. And only because of Yitzchak Avinu we have this. So on the outside, he was very much an Avram Avinu Jew. On the inside, he was mamish a Yitzchak Avinu Jew. I want to tell a quick story. I want to give over a Torah that's written in the Kol Chevra. For those of you that don't know about Kol Chevra, it's a journal put out by Shlomo Carlebach Foundation in Jerusalem, and it gets better and better each year. It comes out right around this time of year, around the yard site. Gewaltig is some Shlomo Torahs, but more than ever, what we're trying to do is get the Chevra to give their own voice. So many of us have contributed into it. Gewaltig Torahs and beautiful stuff, well worth the price. It's available out front in the Judaica store. I'm going to give over a Torah from Shlomo rather than just schmooze about myself and anything else about Shabbos, but I want to give over a couple stories that nobody knows about because they happened between Shlomo and I, and I think it shocked people a little bit. Shocking is always good. But before I go that far, I just want to make a quick correction. Technically, I'm in Queens. I'm in Rosedale, Queens, which is 3 blocks from North Woodmere. The Queens Chevra for Shlomo happens to be up in Hillcrest. It's a whole other group. In my section of Queens, close to the 5 towns, we consider ourselves part of the greater 5 towns area, just like Far Rockaway in the 5 towns. Rosedale also. And my work is also really in the 5 towns. And this Friday night, beginning our first formal outreach program, inaugurated the Long Island Hasidic Center, which will be a Shlomo type of center, but Shlomo wasn't looking for clones. He said it over and over again. There's one of him, and there's one of each one of us. And Shlomo was great in this, but he's always trying to empower us to go out and be who we have to be. And to that extent, trying to make a new paradigm, a shul that doesn't exist yet in the world. The same way the House of Love and Prayer was something that didn't exist before then, it certainly hasn't existed since then. Because the shuls are empty, you need to create new types of shuls, things that appeal to people. Just a marketing ploy. People don't buy, you gotta make a new product. So we're gonna have a service that's in part English, because it's an outreach program. A lot of Shlomo's davening, meditations, to reach the people in the 5 towns that are just not connected to anything. Simultaneously, also looking right now for a site location to begin a monthly minyan, a Carlebach minyan in the 5 towns. So, doing good stuff. There's 2 stories. One of them I heard from Shlomo, and I also heard it from somebody else. I actually heard it from Eliezer. And the other one happened when I was there. So the first one is, because how did Shlomo get to be the way he is? And everybody knows Shlomo was talking about his father and his grandfather. He picked up a lot from them. But without saying bad things, he would have stayed in the frum world if it was just his father's influence, and Zeta's influence, and Laible Rebbe's influence. He would have stayed straight and narrow. How did he flip out? What made him go out into the world like that? So Shlomo told me for a while, he had a shul, he was a Shabbos shul up in Harlem, and there's still Jews left over. He was living on the west side, walking up, and Shlomo being Shlomo started schmoozing with everybody around. So he befriended a young black lady. And he was on the streets one day in Harlem, talking to her, and turns a corner, some clever mention, some from Yidden that knew him from Lakewood. So he realizes, listen, I'm in a predicament here. I can't be caught talking with this black lady. It's pasnished. But how can I be, what am I supposed to do? I can't stop talking to her, it's rude. But if they see me talking to her, my reputation will go in the toilet. What am I supposed to do? So at the last minute, he turned away from her, pretending he was looking at the store while the frum people walked past. And she turned to him when they had gone. And I can't use that kind of language because I'm a rabbi and it's a shul. But she went into a diatribe and cursed him out severely and told him, you're chicken. She did a little more graphically. And Shlomo said, you're right. And it's the last time that he ever was afraid of what somebody's going to think. Because if he would have been afraid of what people are thinking, we wouldn't be here. I certainly wouldn't be here. I'd be on a mountaintop in India. I wouldn't have had Beis Yaakov daughters in Yeshiva Bachram. Push it. The other thing is, so in his course of travels up in Harlem, Shlomo became very close with a lady who was singing in a choir in a Methodist church and wound up on Broadway and getting a Tony. So her church wanted to give her an honor and celebrate, which is natural. She invited Shlomo and said, you have to come. So I went up to Shlomo to Harlem. He says, so Shlomo takes me by the hand and he says, listen, we're going to see where I got my beginnings. And we go up to Harlem, to this Methodist church, and we go inside and they're swinging heavy, really rocking and rolling and just Gewalt. Just like you see in spirituals and movies in the Baptist churches, Gewalt. And we're there for a while and all kinds of crazy stuff. Made the House of Prayer look pretty sane. And Shlomo turns to me and he says, I want you to know everything I learned about congregations I learned in this church. We owe a debt of gratitude, not to be racist. And unfortunately, racism is a very big thing in the film world, in the Jewish world, in the world in general. Black, white, yellow, green, we're all racist towards each other. We owe a great deal of gratitude towards the black world, not just for rock and roll, but for Shlomo as well. And we're going to go on in the last 10 minutes that I got here. Like I said, this is printed in the Kol Chavra, and encourage everybody to buy a copy and support the Carlebach Foundation. It's called The Soul of Shabbos. It's the Shlomo teaching given 9 years ago. Shabbos is like being back in paradise. No, it is being back in paradise. Paradise is a place where everything is good. Everything is holy. Everything is beautiful. Paradise is a place where suddenly it's clear to me that not only can I fix all my mistakes, but even more so, everything I thought was a mistake, every street that I thought was the wrong street, was really the only way I could have gotten here. Shabbos has two faces, two aspects. First, we're all familiar is the keeping of Shabbos holy. The 39 classifications of malacha, of work, of labor, which involve me withdrawing from the world. I don't do this, I don't do that, I don't do the other thing. I withdraw from the world. Shlomo says it's a non-power kind of. So if you can interpret Shlomo's English, a non-power kind of means we're limiting our involvement in the world. We're negating the world's power. It's the first step of Shabbos, to withdraw from the 6 days. But then, there's the bliss of Shabbos. The inside of Shabbos, what a gift from heaven. The bliss of Shabbos is even deeper than paradise. It's a secret between God and me, between me and the people I love so much. Shabbos is peace. You can't be Shabbistic if you're not at peace with yourself. What kind of a Shabbos is it? If you're sitting and worrying about anything, it takes away from Shabbos. The more a person's at peace, the greater the Shabbos. So Shabbos is peace. And peace is a secret. It's a secret of the depths and of the deepest depths. A secret is the deepest God revelation. What does it mean, God revelation? A prophet hears God's voice, but the person standing next to the prophet doesn't hear nothing. It's a secret. Prophecy is a secret between a person, between Hashem and a person. And what's a secret? A secret is just something that's between two people. I can stand right next to you and you don't know our secret. Looks normal. So the peace of Shabbos is the deepest secret that God gives us, a revelation. And a true Shabbistic person, a person that's emulating Shabbos, has imbibed Shabbos and gives it back out, is someone who walks the streets of the world, and every human being he sees, he shares the secret of Hashem, the secret of Shabbos. But with those who he loves, who he's closest to, he shares the deepest depths, the secrets of the secrets. Shabbos is the strongest vitamin pill. On Shabbos, a new energy comes down from heaven. But the energy refuses to be received in dirty vessels. So 1 second before Shabbos begins, purity and holiness also descend into the world. And I think my own footnote that this is why people go to the mikveh Friday afternoon, because you have to make yourself a vessel to receive what's coming down from heaven. And something that's holy doesn't go into an impure vessel, becomes impure through contact. So in order to receive the vessels that come down from heaven, we purify our own vessels first. Happy are those whose hearts are filled with the purity and holiness of Shabbos. Friday night is a fixing of jealousy. We all know that 3 parts of Shabbos deal with different aspects of cosmology, of our relationship with ourselves. So when it comes to doing with ourselves what Shabbos does for us, Friday night fixes jealousy. Jealousy comes from thinking that somebody can take your place or portion in the world. But in the deepest depths, it's my own emptiness, my own incapacity to retain what Hashem has given me that causes me to be jealous of the next person. But Friday night, my heart becomes so filled, so overflowing that it's Shabbos, that it's like the wine in a Kiddush cup. It's just filled to the brim, ready to overflow, ready to burst. That when I look at the Shabbos wine, and I realize it's the great brachas that come from Hashem, so jealousy is wiped out from my heart. Hopefully, I can now go and wipe out the jealousy in everybody's heart. Shabbos morning is a fixing of grabbing, of taking and receiving. Because what Hashem gives to me, I don't have to steal. I don't have to take. I don't have to grab. Because it's given to me. What I think what Shlomo is saying here is that a vessel doesn't grab. You ever see people at a Kiddush? Jumping, like they didn't eat for 20 years. But if you know the food's still going to be there, why jump? A vessel receives. You never saw a vessel get out off the shelf, open up the refrigerator, jump into an orange juice container and take some. It's not the nature of a vessel. A vessel waits, knowing full well that it's going to be filled. It's the nature of a vessel. And we're vessels. Vessels for Hashem's light. The slave takes, but a king receives. And the third meal of Shabbos is the fixing of self-esteem, of honor, the fixing of giving up hope. The third meal is like the world to come, when the world will be filled with Hashem's glory, where the glory of every human being will be radiant, and the honor, even the honor that we give to a small child, because we don't honor our children. We may love them, hopefully we love them, we care for them, but honor, we don't honor children. But even the honor that we give to a small child will fill up the world. That's the level of Shabbos Shudas. And it's just so glaringly obvious that it's a God in the world. Shabbos is the deepest healing in the world. Our holy rabbis teach us that a doctor can only heal a foot or a hand or a body part. They can't give you a new one. And even in our technology, we still don't have new body parts. We just transplant. But on Shabbos, on a spiritual level, God gives you back your hands and your feet and your brains and your eyes and your ears and all those body parts that you threw away all week long because you didn't use them. Hashem gives them back. One develops an increased awareness of Hashem through Shabbos. Friday night is a time of seeing, of discovering the unbelievable beauty and sweetness of the world, of Torah, of people, and above all, of those whom I love the most. Shabbos morning is a time of tasting. It's even deeper than seeing. Most people love another, but to taste another person's soul, we don't taste each other's souls. If we could taste each other's souls, there'd be no problem. There'd be no divorces, I think. There'd be no generation gaps. There'd be no problems in the world if we could taste each other's souls. And finally, the third meal in Havdalah is smelling. Smelling the fragrance. And not just like Shlomo used to say, a little bit of Lord and Taylor, Chanel number 5, but Mom is really smelling the fragrance of God's world. The fragrance beyond seeing. The third meal in Havdalah is a smelling of the beauty of seeing and tasting. The kind of depth that only a soul can fathom, that we just can't really put into words. Happy are those who walk the streets, the world, with the fragrance of Shabbos. Thank you.
Yisroel, Finman, we can't thank you enough. Okay, my friends. We're not winding down, we're winding up. So, you know, Reb Shlomo used to tour. He went all over the world. And there were great rabbis who used to speak. Some used to reflect the way he spoke. And then there were great musicians. Some used to play his songs, play the way he played them.
I liked it like this.
Our next guest is someone who's told the stories and sung the songs just as Shlomo did all over the world. Shlomo used to say, you know, when I listen to Reb Shimon, he sounds more like me than I do. We're very proud to have as a good friend Rabbi Shimon Kugel, the great Hasidic folk singer. Please give him a warm welcome, Shimon Kugel.
Third of March, 16th is my birthday. What's yours? What's your name? What? Finman. That was so beautiful. I just came. Keep doing it.
A gute Woche. Gute Woche. Gute Woche. One, two.
Where's from?
A gute Woche. I can't hear you. A gute Woche. That's better. I was afraid you ate too much Kugel.
Yes, come.
First of all, I'd like to thank Rabbi Dinnerstein for inviting me here this evening. Bezat Hashem. I hope everybody enjoyed their Shabbos here. I'm sure it must have been a great spiritual adventure. I'd like to thank all the musicians here tonight, especially Ben Levin and Zalman and everybody else who I may not know their names or don't recall or remember. Anyway, thanks very much. I really appreciate it. I'm sure everybody does. Oh, you know the days, they're coming very soon. The days, they're coming very soon. People will be hungry, not for bread. People will be hungry for Torah. Torah. Let's go back. La 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 la. Just to hear the words of Hashem and to learn His holy Torah. Just to hear Im Lishmoa es divrei Hashem Lo yitzamol hamayim Lo yirov lalachem Ki im Lishmoa divrei Hashem Lo yitzamol hamayim Velo yirov lalachem Once more. And to learn His holy Torah. Okay, how much more time or less? Okay. This song I wanted then to really dedicate to Reb Shlomo Carlebach, as I'm sure that most of the people here tonight have recognized the fact that he was our brother, our father. He was a fatherly figure. He gave us something that we were always seeking for. We never knew where to find it. Okay. My Seder lived with us in our parents' home. He used to smile and take me on his knee when he spoke about his life in Poland. Yes, he spoke about with a bitter memory, and he spoke about the soldiers who would beat him. They laughed at him, they tore his long black coat, and he spoke about a synagogue that they burned down, and the crying that was heard beneath the smoke. Yet Zayda, he made us laugh, and Zayda made us sing, and Zayda made a Kiddush Friday night. oh my Zayde, how I loved him so. Zayde, he would teach me wrong from right. His eyes lit up when he would teach me Torah. He taught me every line so carefully. Yes, he spoke about our slavery in Egypt and how God took us out and made us free. Then winter went by, summer came along. I went to camp to run and play. Then when I got home they said, Zayde's gone, and all his books were packed and stored away. I don't know how or why this all came to be. This happened slowly over many years. We stopped being from like my Zayde was, and no one even cared or shed a tear. Many winters went by, many summers came along. Now my children sit in front of me. Who will be the Zayde of our children? Who will be their Zayde if not we? Who will be the Zayde of my children's children? Who will be their Zayde if not me? Yet Zayde made us laugh, and Zayde made us sing, and Zayde made a Kiddush Pesach night. Zayde, oh my Zayde, how I loved him so. Zayde, he will teach me wrong from right. Thank you. Laible was a Zayde to us, our Zayde. One more song?
Yes.
One more song? Okay, one more song. Shlomo used to tell me always to sing my own songs because not that he didn't like to hear me sing them, I suppose, simply because he thought I could make my own. So I'm going to actually do what he asked me to do. By the way, my Zayde song was from Moshe, yes? Let's do it a little bit higher. Then. Okay. V'hu yashmienu berachamov shenis shenis leyenei kol chayim yashmienu. A little bit faster. Berachamov shenis shenis leyenei kol chayim. Once more. Thank you.
Let's have a real big hand for Shimon Kugel. And now you know we're not winding down, we're winding up. So let me just say this. You know, after all the big concerts, some people would leave, but the real chevra would stay. And that's when things really started to get hot. And that's when the Carlebach chevra really started to sing. And so, you know, it's such a great privilege to have friends who have courage and who are willing to play at 10 to 1 until Nate's. Please welcome the sensational, the fantastic, the unbelievable Laible ben Moshe!
An intro like that, I have to come right up.
Okay, you just have to bear a minute with us as we plug in and turn on.
Yeah, well, maybe I'll do some of that tonight too. Fight your balls, wait a minute. Gotta wrap you back again.
Technical difficulties, bear with us, please.
Cats in, I'll jam along.
Okay, we have to tune up,
back.
so please hold on a moment.
Okay, well, you fed me, I'll feed back. Quiet. It's the time for such jokes. About set. I love it when somebody gives you a gewaltige intro. You run up on stage, ready to go, and you've got technical difficulties.
They can trip over the cable.
Tune up everything. E flat? I mean E flat? You're kidding. By Vegas, mir. Come on. You guys could play with me if I was in Asia Minor. Try to play that one. Okay. I just got transplanted from the Borscht Belt, right? Don't worry about it. Okay, we'll try this out. Is everybody in tune with me? You'll pardon my impatience. I want to play tonight. Rabbi Yisroel, so good to see you. So many of my dear, sweet friends here. And I say my dearest, sweetest friends. Of course, somebody's going to say, okay, he's going to sing Shlomo songs, so you start talking like Shlomo. But you think about this stuff. You think about this when you start saying, my dearest, sweetest friends. What was Shlomo into? Ahavas Yisroel, Ahavat Yisroel, Ahavat Goyim, Ahavat Kol Ha'olam. So for real now, if we really want to make the world right, if we really want to put the world together, or Shlomo used to say, we're going to bring them together, heaven and earth. On a more selfish level, if you really want to get high, if you really want to get high, and you got to do what Shlomo talked about. Again, you talk about the way Shlomo spoke, about when he jumps off the table during the chasana. He's in the sweetest moment of his life, and he jumps off the table, and he runs to embrace his arch enemy. Because he realizes at that moment that he never really hated him. You got to leave it all out of your life. You got to take all the hatreds, all the jealousy, all the nastiness out of your life. And then you can get high. Mamish Beklal Tak Emes, yeah. Gewalt, master of the world. The soul is yours and the body is your creation. Have pity on your handiwork. You all hear me down there? You hear me okay? You know this song, please sing it with me.
Hey,
Shlomo used to say, Shlomo said, the Holy Reb Nachman says, the Heilige Reb Nachman says, people go to a wedding and they come out again. And the first one, what's the matter? The first one says, they had such good food there. I had such a good time. I ate myself silly. That's a wonderful time. I ate all night. The second one says, my God, the music, the Holy Beggars Band was there playing all night. We had such a good time. The third one says, I saw all my friends there, had a great time. They didn't go to the wedding. This other schlepper comes along and he says, you know what? Baruch Hashem, these two people got together. He went to the wedding. So, chasna music. Watch my key change, guys. Okay? There's one night in South Africa, when everybody was clapping along, everyone was singing along. They were clapping till their hands were red. But there's one thing missing. Shlomo said something like, okay, you bought your tickets, got yourself a few songs, but you know what? There's something I can't give you. I can stand up here for the next 100 years and play. You got to do this yourself. You got to get up and dance. Your feet are aching. Not because you stood up on your feet all day and counted your money. Your feet are mamish aching because you're so far from heaven. You know what happens when you get up and dance? When you get up and dance, and the earth says to you, what are you trying here for? You know how strong my gravity is? I'll pull you down in a second. Look at this. I'm lifting up one foot, down in a second. Lift up the other foot, right down. You know what I say to the earth? Watch me. I don't stop. You know what happens when you dance? Gravity becomes less and less. Your feet become lighter and lighter and lighter. Pretty soon the earth says to you, you know what? I'm lonely because I'm so far from heaven. I know you talk to heaven. You tell the earth, come a little closer. Then you reach up with your bare hands and you touch heaven. And heaven says, I know you're in contact with the earth all the time. Tell him God's creation is not complete until heaven and earth meet. It's like something out of Talmud that says, the earth is broken. Everything is broken until the earth kisses the heaven. So, I want you to get up on your feet, dance like crazy. It doesn't have to be ballroom dancing. It doesn't have to be jazz dancing. You know, there's a line here you can snake right through, around and around again. And one more thing. Guys, wait a minute. One more thing. One more thing. Give me a C minor. C minor. C sharp minor? I'm C sharp minor? You're sharp. I'm sharp. It's nice to be sharp. Does that sound like a C sharp to you? Welcome to Laible Ben Moshe's workshop. I don't know what happened. Anyway, something like that. I shouldn't play so loud. Anyway, discord. There is a city. Give up, master of the world. There's a city. A small city, an unimportant city, the center of the world. I want you to know that in that city there is one hill. There's one broken wall, but by that holy wall, heaven and earth are met. By that broken wall will someday fix the whole world. Make brokenness into wholeness. Make hatred into love. Turn tears of sadness into tears of joy. Yerushalayim, 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 Yerushalayim. don't run away from me.
Yisroel,
Everyone is your dearest, sweetest friends. I am your dearest, sweetest friend. You are my dearest, sweetest friend.
They changed it.
Go out and live that way. Stay high. Good night.
Let's have a big hand for Laible and Moshe. Is Rabbi Eisenstadt here? Rabbi Eisenstadt, are you in?
Yeah, I know. That's Chaim walked home. Judy. She's Russian.
What do you want? Drums, Shimmy Silver, please. Let's have a big hand. Rounding up the night, one of Shlomo's old friends, one of the Chevra's old friends, a member of the board of Orkito. Let's give a big hand to our friend Rashi Shapiro.
Good luck, everybody.
Want to try a new instrument?
I want to thank my friend Rocky for lending me his guitar.
You got a guitar, you got drums, you got a tambourine. You're doing everything. Why not tuba?
Okay, it's almost time for bed, so we're going to sing Shema Yisroel. But listen, you have to sing it with feeling. You have to sing it like Hashem Elokeinu. You have to sing it like Hashem Echad. hearts. Everybody, just for a minute, close your eyes. Try to take Hashem into your heart. Try to feel it. Try to feel that Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem is with you wherever you go. Hashem is with you when you daven. Hashem is with you when you eat. Hashem is with you when you talk to your friends. Hashem is with you when you're working. Hashem is with you when you're sleeping.
Oh my God.
Hashem is the only one. You have to think about it and feel it all the time. The more you think about it, the more Hashem is with you. Start very soft and slow and bring it in. Shema Yisroel, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. 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 I want you to scream it with all your heart. Shema Yisroel, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem makes Hashem Echad? Who is it that makes Hashem Elokeinu?
The Jewish press.
We do. Umiki Amcha Yisrael. Od Avinu Chai. Od Avinu Chai. Am Yisrael. Am Yisrael. Am Yisrael Chai. Am Yisrael. 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 Yisrael. Am Yisrael. Am Yisrael. Oh,
Sang it all night.
So I want to tell you, it's 1986. No more. We're waiting for Shlomo. We're in Monticello. Another typical, we're waiting for Shlomo. Hundreds, maybe thousands, could be 500,000 people were in this bungalow colony. We finally get started. Shlomo comes into the room. Everybody can't wait to hear him. He does one song and he stops and he puts Rocky on. And Rocky brought down the house just like he's going to do right now.
I can't believe nobody sang this all night. They left me a song, Gewalt. So anyway, I went over to your uncle a little while ago, and I said, when can I sing? When can I sing? And he said, not yet. And then I went a little while later, and I said, when can I sing? And he said, not yet. And then a little bit after that, I was getting very frustrated. And I went to Rabbi Uncle, and I said, please, can I sing now? And he said, now you can sing. And I said, how come I couldn't sing before? And this is what he said. Better than last month's Shabbos, I think, right? Wow. Keep 'em away.